This photo, taken in 1847 after a battle during the Mexican-American War, captures the first known photographic depiction of an amputation performed on the battlefield. The soldier in the photo is Antonio Bustos, who lost his leg from injuries sustained during the intense fighting. His amputated limb lies in the foreground, as military surgeon Pedro van der Linden performs the procedure to halt infection and save his life. This haunting image offers a rare look at the harsh realities of war and the early innovations in battlefield medicine. You might think that this photo shows two ghostly figures. However, it is possibly the earliest photograph ever taken of two Native Americans. The two Native Americans are standing near their teepees in a Cheyenne village in Colorado in 1853. The man who took this photo was by the name of Solomon Carvalho, who joined Colonel John C. Fremont's westward expedition. This photo provides a rare and intimate look at early Native American life. This gentleman's name was John Adams, though not related to the U.S. president of the same name. Born in 1744 or 1745 in Worcester, Massachusetts, he served in the Continental Army during the American Revolution, enlisting shortly after the battles of Lexington and Concord. Later, he became a lieutenant in the 8th Worcester County Militia. This photograph was taken on his 100th birthday in 1845. He passed away in 1849 at the age of 104 and is considered the earliest verified man ever photographed. Mary Monroe Sanderson, 1852. The earliest born woman ever photographed, Mary lived through the first battle of the Revolutionary War. After the British retreated, she returned home to find much of her property stolen and a wounded British soldier in her bed. Despite her protests, she cared for him. Mary lived to be 104 and passed away in 1852. This photograph, taken just months before her death, remains a powerful connection to the past, marking her place in history. Martin Ruth, 1854. The venerable president of Magdalen College, Oxford, was photographed at 99 in 1854. He lived through the American Revolution and the rise of Napoleon. A respected theologian and classical scholar, Ruth shaped Oxford's intellectual life for 63 years. Known for his work on early Christian writings, his advice to younger scholars was simple: always verify your references. His last words, reportedly to his housekeeper, were, "Don't trouble yourself." Ruth passed away later that year, leaving a lasting legacy in academia. Caesar, 1851. Born into slavery in Bethlehem, New York, Caesar outlived multiple generations of the Nickel family who owned the estate. Freed late in life, he lived to see the end of slavery in New York. In 1851, at the claimed age of 114, he sat for a portrait, one of the earliest photographic images of an African American. Caesar passed away in 1852, and his tombstone lists him as 115 years old. If accurate, he would be one of the earliest born and longest-lived Americans ever photographed. Conrad Heyer, 1852. A Revolutionary War veteran, Heyer enlisted in 1775 and served in the Continental Army. After the war, he returned to Waldoboro, Maine, where he farmed and raised a family. Around 1852, at the claimed age of 103, he sat for a portrait, often credited as the earliest born person ever photographed alive. Heyer passed away in 1856 and was buried with full military honors. He remains among the earliest people to be photographed, offering a rare link to revolutionary America. Hippolyte Bayard, 1840. The first hoax photograph, Self-Portrait as a Drowned Man, was created by Bayard as an act of protest. Frustrated for not receiving credit as the inventor of photography, Bayard staged himself slumped to one side, appearing lifeless. The invention was instead attributed to Louis Daguerre in France and William Henry Fox Talbot in England. Bayard's image remains a powerful statement of defiance and the first known example of photographic deception. This photo is the earliest surviving mugshot and was taken by Belgian officials in 1843. Marking one of the first uses of photography in law enforcement. However, not much is known about the criminal history or the identity of the individual in the photograph, leaving the details surrounding it a mystery. Within the same decade, the British police also began using professional photographers, taking early steps toward incorporating photography into policing. This innovation laid the groundwork for the widespread use of mugshots in criminal identification and investigation. General John E. Wool, 1847. This photograph is one of the first, if not the first, images of American soldiers campaigning in a foreign country, while Americans had fought in other foreign countries. No photographs existed of those campaigns. The image depicts General Wool and his military staff on a street in Saltillo, Mexico. During the U.S. invasion of Mexico, Wool commanded part of the Center Division of General Zachary Taylor's army in the early stages of the war. This early example highlights the beginnings of war photography, a practice that would later transform how conflicts were documented and remembered. The SS Great Britain, 1844. This photograph is believed to be the first ever taken of the Great Britain, and possibly the first photograph of any ship. The Great Britain was designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel for the Great Western Steamship Company's transatlantic service between Bristol and New York. From 1845 to 1854, it was the longest passenger ship in the world. While earlier ships had been made of iron or used a screw propeller, Great Britain was the first to combine both features in a large ocean-going vessel, marking a major milestone in maritime engineering. This 1870 photograph is considered the first ever taken of an actual battle. It captures a line of Prussian troops advancing during the Franco-Prussian War. The photographer stood alongside the French defenders as he took this image, making it a groundbreaking moment in war photography. It represents one of the earliest attempts to document the chaos of battle as it unfolded. Queen Victoria, circa 1845. The earliest known photograph of a royal shows her alongside her eldest daughter, Princess Victoria, taken just a few years into her reign. This image offers a rare glimpse into the personal side of the monarch who would define an era. At the time, photography was still a revolutionary medium, and this portrait highlights its growing role in capturing history. This photograph remains an enduring symbol of her legacy and the early days of photographic innovation. John Quincy Adams, 1843. The sixth President of the United States and son of John Adams. He was the first U.S. president ever photographed, taken in Washington, D.C., when he was 75 years old and serving as a representative for Massachusetts. The image was created by Southworth and Hawes. It was gifted to his friend, Horace Everett. This is the earliest surviving photo of a U.S. president, captured 14 years after his presidency ended. Adams died 5 years later in 1848 at the age of 80, leaving behind a remarkable political legacy. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this. We will see you in the next video.